Hi everyone, it's Gail here. Later, a lot later than planned. So I was supposed to be on here at 5 o'clock, supposed to be live at 5, and what can I say? Day just didn't pan out like that. But anyway, I am here now, and I am just gonna go over here and put that on mute and see who is around that might want to come and join me. So I'm just going to invite a few people. Let me see, who do I have? Invite a few people that are around. Invite. Okay, a few people have been invited. I see somebody is watching me live just now, or a couple of people are watching me live just now. So if you are on live with me right now, let me know who you are, where you are, and how you are. So, and I'm looking at a screen over on my right-hand side of me with my arms in my ear like this that is frozen, so I'm not quite sure what that is all about. But Nadia is here, I think. Nadia's here. Yay! Hi Nadia, how are you? How are you? What have you been up to today, Nadia? Are you still on holiday? Let me know. And who else is on? So it looks like there are 2 people watching me live just now, and I've just got, I know Nadia is here. Who else is here? A little bit croaky today. So today I am going to be talking about, this is something I posted in my community this morning, I didn't actually do it myself. The lovely Gillian, my community ambassador, posted this in the group this morning. And the question was something along the lines of, who would you consult with if you could consult with anyone, right? So anyone, dead or alive, right? So who would you consult with? So who would you want to speak to? So what would that look like for you? And the thing about that is, oh, Nadia's saying, good today, no halls, back at work since Monday and very busy this week. Ah, right, Nadia, I thought you were still on holiday. What was I saying there? Mind blank. Yeah, so who would you consult with? Oh, that's what I was going to say. So the reason that this is important is because, so sometimes we are filled with self-doubt, or we feel overwhelmed, or things just don't feel quite right. Tanuja is on. Tanuja is saying, loads of people I would love to talk to. Me too. I'm just about to tell you who all mine are. I have got a long list. But thank you for joining, Tanuja, and thank you for letting me know that you are here watching. So the thing about this is, so when we are, in a situation where things don't feel right, things feel a bit off, maybe we've got a little bit of imposter syndrome coming up, that whole thing, I'm not good enough, or just we're in a situation where we're maybe a little bit stuck, or we're not sure what to do, or we're just, just something is going on. And sometimes we just think, gosh, I wish I could just talk to somebody about this. And in particular, I wish I could talk to a particular person about this. Or we might also say, well, in this particular situation, what would so-and-so do, right? What would whoever this person might be, what would they do in this situation? And the thing about that is that can really open us up. Oh, Tanuja is saying changing careers and imposter syndrome is creeping up. Ooh, Tanuja, tell me more. So sometimes, we've got our networks, so we've got the network of people that we usually have around us, and we've got our advisors that we, typically go to, and we have trusted confidants. Usually, we usually have a trusted friend, or there's usually somebody in our circle that we trust, that we can share with. But sometimes they're just, we need something else, right? And sometimes we're like, well, if I could just speak to this person, or, what if this person was here right now, what would they do? And one of the things that I teach is that we can all have a virtual crew, right? So I call it the virtual crew. So in the same way that if you think about a crew on a ship, right, so I use the ship analogy a lot in my program. So if you think about a crew on a ship, right? The crew on the ship are there to serve the purpose of the ship, to serve the ship's best interest, to make sure the ship gets where it's supposed to be going, to carry out maintenance, to just make sure that everything happens smoothly. And there's always a captain on the ship as well, which I refer to as it's where I talk about your inner leader, but I'm not talking about that today. Because the inner leader and the crew kind of work together. But the thing is, you can have anybody you want on your crew, anybody, right? You can create a crew, you can imagine a crew, you can have characters on your crew, you can have people you don't know on your crew, you can have people that are no longer here on your crew, right? So a good example of that for me is, so if you're in my group this morning, one of my relatives actually is in the group and was talking about how, so the question was, if you could consult with anybody, dead or alive, who would you consult with? And the thing that she said was, well, I would like to really consult with my mum, right? Because her mum died when she was a child, right? So this is somebody that's in my family. And her mum died when she was a child. I never ever met her mum. I wasn't born when her mum died. And, her comment was, I really would love to have been able to consult with her in adulthood, and to know and understand, her thoughts and what she would have wanted, her opinion, just lots of different things. And that's probably a slightly, unique situation where it'd be very difficult to imagine that, right? Because you never experienced it. But you probably could make a stab at imagining it from what you do know, right? So and the same is true when you think about virtual crew members. So if I was to say to you, who would you like to speak to? Like, who would you consult with? So Tanisha, I'm looking at your comment just now. I'm just going to pull this up. So Tanisha, you're saying, going from international procurement manager after 20 years, wow, that's a long time, into AI and robotics development, right? That's where it's happening, right? That's where it all is right now. It's all about artificial intelligence and robotics, right? So that is very, very happening. Great field to be moving into, Tanisha, I would say. So that's fantastic. So my question for you, Tanisha, would be, well, if you've got, just take that down. If you've got imposter syndrome, right, creeping up about this change in career, who would you love to speak to about that, right? Because you said that you've got loads of people that you'd love to talk to. So who is one person? Tell me one person and why. And while you're thinking about that, or you could tell me more than one person if you want, but just like start with one and let's go from there. I'm going to tell you about who I have on my virtual crew, right? So my virtual crew varies, like depending on the situation that I'm in, who I need to call on, my frame of mind, how I want to shift perspective, and what I think is going to serve me best at any given time. And interestingly, so when Sheila in the group this morning was talking about her mum, so I immediately thought of my grandma, because her mum and my grandma were really good friends. And, so my grandma isn't here anymore, so she passed quite some time ago. But I often still hear her voice in my head. I often hear her voice, and I'll often say things like, oh, my grandma used to say such and such, or I would hear in, especially if I'm trying to clear out, right? Because my grandma was really good at clearing out and I'm hopeless at it. So I'm hopeless at getting rid of stuff. I've read the Marie Kondo book and it is helping, but I'm still not good at it. Although I've got fantastically better at folding, I must say. So I'm very good at folding now as a result of Marie Kondo. But, so sometimes when I'm in that kind of, gosh, voice is going today. when I'm in that sort of, should I part with this or should I keep it? And I'm not really sure about throwing it out. I can hear my grandma's voice in my ear saying, just get rid of it. That's not actually how she would have said it. She would have said it differently. She would have said in broad Scots, fling a toot, right? But depending on where you are on this show, you might not understand that. But that's how she would have said it. Just fling a toot, right? So get rid of it. Just get rid of it. She was really good at doing that. And so because I know I'm not good at doing that, but sometimes I need to do it, then I would think, right, okay, I just need to, lean a little bit on my inner grandma, right? Because she would be good at this. And that's what having a virtual crew is all about, right? So a virtual crew is all about, well, who would help me? So if I could draw on or lean on or call on, right, a part of me that is like that, what would that look like and what would be different, right? So for me, sometimes with self-doubt, right, so there's a few different things that I do for that, but one that I do sometimes, which works quite well, is I will call on my inner Lara Croft, right? So Lara Croft isn't even real, right? So Lara Croft is a character from an animated game, right? Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, which I've never even seen. So I've never seen the films, never played the game, but I know I have a sense of the Lara Croft character, at least my version of what I think the Lara Croft character is like. And for me, so I imagine, right, being in all the Lara Croft gear, maybe after I've lost the weight that I'm planning to lose, when I do I'm going to be doing a primal health program, which I'm finding out about tomorrow. Which I'm actually a little bit scared about and think it's going to be brutal. And anyway, let's not get sidetracked down there. But I think about, so how would I be? How would I feel? And what would be different if I could call on the spirit of Lara Croft, right? And when I think about that, I think of Lara Croft. She's ballsy, she's confident, she doesn't give a shit, excuse my language. She does what she wants to do. And, I almost get the sense with Lara Croft of, a little, an eyebrow kind of being raised. Probably looks ridiculous on camera at the moment, but, I just sort of think, there's a sort of devilish sense of fun about Lara Croft. So, really clear what she wants and, goes out to get it. But there's something about Lara Croft, I think, just had a message telling me that my next video, which is going to be in my Ignite group, is I'm supposed to be going live in 20 minutes in my Ignite group for my clients. But so there's something about her that there's just like a bit of a sense of fun, a bit of attitude, a bit of, but hey, I'm Lara Croft and, I'm going to do things my way. And I don't actually care what you think, right? And I'm going to have fun while I'm doing it. So there's something when I think about, calling on my inner Lara Croft, there's something freeing in that for me. Something, it's not a confidence thing, though there is a bit of confidence in there, but it's just a sort of like a badass attitude almost. That it just gives me a little bit of a twinkle in my eye, and I don't know, let's just bring a little Lara Croft to this and see what would be different. And it would just change the way that I think, change the way I feel, and as a result, change my decision and change the outcome. And that's really what this is about. And you can do that with anyone. So when I think about actually, let me just read Tanuja's comment here first before I carry on waffling on about myself. So what does Tanuja say? Tanuja is saying, my grandfather, whom I did not get to know as I grew up outside of India, he went from dropping out of school to running a successful mechanical engineering business that was known internationally. Zero traditional education, all self-taught. Wow. How did he get enough courage to start something up and move forward into a field that he would have had to learn on the fly? Wow, 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 wow. What a source of inspiration, Tanuja, thinking about you taking this step, right? Moving into a new field, learning a new area of technology, right? You call on your inner grandfather, what would be different, right? He has laid the way before you. He's done this, or he did this, right? So he is he's a shining example. What a role model. I know you didn't get to know him because you grew up outside of India, but wow, like what would be different for you if you just like called on that? And you're saying, I think she is. Not quite sure what that meant, Tanuja. Sorry, I don't know what that meant. Sorry. But yeah, but this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? This is what it is. It's about, wow, so who do I have? Like, who can I call on? Who can I think of? Who can I call to mind? Depending on the situation that I'm in and what I'm trying to do and how I'm kind of trying to move myself forward, right? And so for me, I have a few. So I have people like, so anybody that knows me knows that I absolutely love Brené Brown, right? So Tanuja's saying he showed resiliency and inner strength, absolutely. And imagine if you called on that part of you, right? Because you've got that part of you in you as well, Tanuja. So imagine if you called on that, what would be different? What would be different as you think about this step that you're taking? So yeah, so Brené Brown, so anybody that knows me knows I love Brené Brown. And so, Brené Brown's big thing is all about, oh, Tanuja, you have been a great inspiration for me. Oh, that is so nice. Do you know what, Tanuja? I really needed to hear that today. So thank you so much for putting that comment in there. That really touches me. Really touches me today. I've been having a little bit of imposter syndrome myself today, which isn't like me because I've kind of got past that. But it does sometimes, all of a sudden, just pops up. And when someone says something like that, it just makes the world a difference. So thank you so much for saying that. Really appreciate it. And Nadia is saying Brené Brown is one of mine too. Yes, we all love Brené Brown, right? And for me, Brené Brown, like, her thing is all about vulnerability, right? All about vulnerability. And sometimes we need to stand in that, but she's also an inspiration for me as well. What does that say? You shouldn't, you have a gift. Oh, gosh, this might be a teary one for Gail, a teary one today. Thank you, Tanuja, for saying that. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Really appreciate it. Oh, you guys, oh gosh. Also, I do often think, what would Gail say? Oh, Nadia. So you are one of my crew too. Oh, I love that. I love the thought of being on your crew. That just makes me feel so special. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Now I've been that's a curveball. It's kind of threw me off track there. Who was I talking about? Yeah, so vulnerability. Yeah, so Brené Brown, vulnerability. Sometimes we need to embrace our vulnerability, but for me, so that's a big thing with Brené Brown for me, vulnerability. And I, because I really encourage my clients to go there as well. But the other thing about Brené Brown, like, there's so many things about Brené Brown that inspire me. I inspire how she has a story and she's a fantastic storyteller. But she tells it warts and all, and she tells it the way it is, and she doesn't dress it up. She doesn't pretend she's someone that she isn't. She just tells it how it is, and she's funny and she's sassy and, excuse me, funny and sassy and self-deprecating. I love that about her. I love her humor, because I love humor, and I love her humor. Like, her humor, it's just, I could read her stuff, listen to her stuff forever. She's just amazing. So she's a huge inspiration for me because, okay, so here's vulnerability from me, right? So she is a huge inspiration to me because if I could be like a tiny bit as good as she is, like, that would just be like, wow, because she just is it. Like, that's what I would aspire to be like Brené. And then there's other people like her. So Brené, Oprah, right? You know, a lot of people have heard me talking about Oprah. So I'm reading one of her books right now. So I'm reading a few books at the moment. That's one of them. I'm also reading Michelle Obama's biography, Becoming. And you know, who wouldn't want to have a conversation with Oprah? I mean, how inspiring would that be? And again, for me, you know, I think about the hardship that Oprah has overcome. I think about her success. I think about her determination. I think about how, you know, she just would never take no for an answer. And she reminds me, actually, just popped up for me. She reminds me of a friend that I have from my Adobe days who is also called Gail. And, you know, I remember a conversation with Gail about, so this was at a time when I worked for Adobe when they were clamping down on expenses and they weren't letting people travel business class. And Gail was like, well, I'm just going to keep asking until someone says yes. I'm just going to keep asking until someone says yes. Like, I love that. Whereas I would have been like, oh, well, you know, they're saying no, so I better not do it. And, you know, I don't want to get into trouble. Whereas, you know, Gail's attitude was, well, I'm just going to keep asking. You know, if I keep asking, someone will eventually say yes. Right? Love that. Love that. And that, you know, Oprah would be like that as well. Like Oprah would be like, well, you know, I'm not taking no for an answer. Like I'm gonna make this happen. And then Michelle, right? Michelle Obama. I mean, like the thing, I don't even know if Michelle Obama actually said this. Like I attribute this to Michelle Obama, and I now say it. It's now one of my phrases, right? That I say to people. But Michelle Obama, I'm like, right, you know, she says, I hope this is Michelle Obama, when they go low, you go high, right? When they go low, you go high. And I mean, that actually makes me shiver, like, you know, for the dignity in that, and the dignity and the grace in that phrase is like that. That's just so powerful to me. So who else do we have? So we've got Brené Brown, we've got Oprah, we've got Michelle Obama. Richard Branson, right? He is on my crew because, and I've got another book that I want to read. So I want to read Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson, which I think is a recent autobiography of his. Just for his entrepreneurial spirit. You know, he is just the ultimate entrepreneur, right? So I'm really looking forward to reading that. And I often think, you know, what would Richard Branson do? Because he's a real people person, right? A real people person. So I'm always kind of, that's one of the things that's always at the back of my mind. What would he do? And who else was I thinking of there just now? Oh yeah, and so Richard Branson is the ultimate entrepreneur. But then the other entrepreneur that I love and I follow and I'm on her mailing list is, and I've read her book, is Denise Duffield Thomas, because her book that I've read a couple of her books, but the one that I really like is Chillpreneur, right? So not entrepreneur, it's chillpreneur, right? And so she's all about, you know, how can you make this stuff easy, right? Because if there's a hard way to do it, I will find it, guaranteed. I will find it. So, you know, Denise, you know, think about Denise. It's like, right, okay, DDT. Okay, how can we make this easy? How can we make this easy? And who else do I have on my crew? So I always have, excuse me, Yoda and Buzz Lightyear, right? And so for those of you that haven't seen my little figurines here they are. They're always on my desk. Yoda and Buzz Lightyear, because, you know, so Yoda, you know, I would kind of, you know, think like, well, what would Yoda do, right? So Yoda is all about wisdom, right? It's a big thing about wisdom for Yoda. And Buzz Lightyear, you know, Buzz Lightyear's slogan is to infinity and beyond. And for me, Buzz Lightyear is about that, but it's also about having the balance with family, because I would go to infinity and beyond, right? Like that's in me, right? I'm like, let's go, you know, we're off to infinity and beyond. But I you know, I have Buzz because Buzz is also, you know, Toy Story is a movie that we've always watched as a family, especially when my stepson was young, and actually my husband at any age, you know, it's one of his favorite movies, Toy Story. And so it really, you know, that really helps to keep me grounded in family, and to remember, yeah, it's to infinity and beyond with the family, right? Okay, with the family, because sometimes be vulnerable. Sometimes I'm like to infinity and beyond at the expense of everything else, which is not my best trait. Don't emulate that. Not my best trait. So that's the thing. So the thing is all about, whatever situation you're in, there's always somebody that you can call on and really think, right, what would, so for me, it might be, what would Lara Croft do right now? Right? Because Lara Croft would just get her gun out and, she would be like, I'm not putting up with this, right? Who cares? Lara would just be, it's, and, no matter what, it's going to be fine. To infinity and beyond, Buzz Lightyear, like, so if I'm stuck and I'm thinking, I can never do all that, it's like, of course I can. We're going to infinity and beyond, right? There are no limits. I don't always need to be convinced of that, but it's just sometimes I do. So there are no limits to infinity and beyond. And if I was in a difficult situation with someone, if someone was trying to put me down, which, I don't really come across that very rarely. I'm probably going to now get hammered for that, having just said that. But, I would, think about Michelle Obama, when they go low, you go high, right? When they go low, you go high. And, Oprah is just, whenever Oprah opens her mouth, she's just inspiring, and, maybe, if I was really struggling with something, again, just thinking, well, what would Oprah do? What would Brenny do? So that for me is what a virtual crew is all about. It's about, it's having a cast of characters, a virtual team, a virtual crew that whatever situation you're in. So for you, Tanuja, your situation is, I'm taking a step, it's a shift in my career, I'm moving in a different direction. What if I'm not good enough, right? And I'm sure there's all those questions going through your mind right now. What if I fail, right? That's usually the big one, right? That usually the big one is, what if I fail? But the other question I would have for you is, well, what if you soar? Like, what if it's an amazing success? And imagine if you didn't take that step, imagine the regret you would have, right? Because it always comes back to, we want fulfillment. That's one of our greatest desires as humans, is to be fulfilled. So what would you regret if you didn't take that step? What would you regret? What would you regret? And that phrase comes to mind by Oliver Wendell Holmes that I use a lot, which I now can't remember what it is. What is it again? Well, that's it. So most of us go to our graves with our music still inside us, unplayed. Okay, most of us go to our graves with our music still inside us, unplayed. And who wants that? Tanuja is saying, do you have a suggested book list, please? Oh gosh, where do I start? So we've got a book list in my Ignite program. So we've got a book club in my Ignite program. So we're trying to work our way through it, and we are on book 2 at the moment, but we're thinking about changing how we do that. But I happen to have actually 2 books right here on my desk that we have been reading in my book club. So this one, Start With Why. Let me just get rid of that comment. Start With Why. It's all about what's the reason that you're doing things, and what do you believe in, and what's the impact that you want to have, and what's your purpose, right? So I found that one quite helpful for me. And actually, it was reading this book again recently that made me sort of think about, what do I believe in? And what I believe in, or what do I believe? Like, what I believe is, I believe that everyone deserves to shine. Everyone deserves to shine. Start with why. That's my why, because everyone deserves to shine. And this is the Brenny one that we're reading, so Dare to Lead, which I have read before, as you can see. It's on my little post-it notes on here. And but yeah, I mean, I just devour her stuff. Tanuja is saying, regret not trying. Absolutely. However, If we take the Yoda perspective, right, there is no try. You either do or you don't. There is no try. Okay. So there's a little thing for you. Tanuja saying, do you have a book club? I do have a book club. I do have a book club, but it is part of my program. So I have a book club with my clients. So I don't have a sort of open book club. You need to be working with me to be in my book club. So if you want to work with me, you can join the book club. So there you go. Because it's the people that are in my Ignite program that get access to my book club, and it's a very new thing, and it's a very loose book club, shall we say? Because Nadia is on here just now, and so she will know what I'm referring to, because we just pulled it together a couple of months ago, and yes, let's just say it's a very loose book. It's a very loose book club, but I do kind of have one. There is only due. Yes, that is what Yoda says. There is only due. From Yoda, definitely. Right, I am going to have to leave it there because I am going to go live in my Ignite group just now. So if any of my clients are watching this just now, I'm about to go live in Ignite to answer any questions that you've got and see how you're getting on this week. So that's it from me today. Do tune in again live at 5-ish. Live at 5-ish on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about next week, but I will be back again next week with lots more chatting, forgetting what I'm saying, losing my, I can't even say that now, forgetting what I'm saying, losing my place, losing my train of thought, and yeah, that's it. So Nadia is saying, oh, that's not Nadia, that's Tanuja. So Tanuja is, let me go there first. So Nadia is saying yes, but it's now encouraging me to try and read something. Try, Nadia, there is no try. There is no try. Tanuja is saying, how do I get into your program? You just ask me if you want into my program, and you can get in if you want to be in it. It is $99.75 a month, and you can join. And you get all of my online content, access to me, all my calls. You get to be part of the Ignite Club, shall we say, the Ignite programs. It's all about igniting your confidence. Nadia is taking her son to karate training. Nice, but we'll watch on replay tonight. Okay, well, depending, if nobody else turns up, Nadia, it might be just me droning on myself, but we'll see what happens. Right, that is my little alarm telling me that I need to go. So thank you so much for being with me tonight. If you are watching on replay, hashtag replay, let me know that you were tuning in. Let me know if you could consult with anyone, dead or alive, past, future, present, anyone or anything. This could be a character as well. Who would it be and why? Let me know in the comments, hashtag replay, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Oh, there's a little thing from Nadia. It's great, Tanuja. You should join. Yes, you should join. Come and join us. Come and join us. Come and join us. Just send me a message if you want to do that. Gaynor has just joined as well. Gaynor, I'm just about to drop off and go live in the Ignite group. Right, so I'm hopping off here and hopping on somewhere else, so you can watch me popping up in the Ignite group. So I will hopefully join you there shortly. But yeah, Nadia and Gaynor are both in my Ignite program, Tanuja. So if you want to come and join us, then just send me a message and and we can get you set up. No problem at all. Thank you for saying that, Nadia. I appreciate it. Right, I'm gonna be late for my next broadcast, so I better go. Oh, brilliant, Tanuja. Possibly another Igniter joining our midst. That would be fantastic. Right. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. Hashtag replay if you're watching on replay, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.